Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collingwood, and I'm here to talk about. Well, I'm going to do two videos here today. My first video is about a movie I'm a fan of, really about the franchise itself, Halloween. Now, we all know Halloween 3 Season of the Witch wasn't well received in theaters. Excuse me. Now, why was that? Or why is that? And why today is it one of the most controversial, if not the most controversial, Halloween? Is it because of Michael Myers? And is it Michael Myers' fault this film didn't succeed? And is it Halloween 3's Season of the Witch's fault it didn't have Michael Myers in it? I'm going to answer the second question first. No. No. It's not Halloween 3 Season of the Witch's fault it didn't have Michael Myers in it. It's not. The first question is a mix, because some people you talk to will say about Michael Myers, but some people you talk to will just shit on the movie in general, and some people like me who you talk to will love the film. They like it for what it is. Is this a franchise situation? No. In the sense of franchise, sometimes in franchises, in a sense, a character is introduced, and it's not just when that character is introduced, it's how they're introduced, it's how they're shown, how they're displayed, and how you last see them. I want you to think, prior to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, how the last time a 80s audience saw Michael Myers. What was their last visual of him? Their last visual of Michael Audrey Myers in Halloween 2 is Michael Myers on fire, walking out of a room that just exploded. So think about that for a second. When you go back and you watch the original Halloween 2, and you watch Michael Myers walk out of that room on fire, how do you top that? What do you top that with? Here's an answer for you, in my opinion. Nothing. Nothing. Look, any film that comes after that isn't Michael Myers, it's gonna get shit on. Think of what the first two Halloween movies were. Think about the sequence of those movies. Think about what those movies were set around and who they were set around. Think of the characters in those films. And then you take a character like Michael Myers, who is the most brutal killer in that town's history, in the franchise's history. Look, sometimes it's not about how good of an actor you have, or how good of an actor the heel can play. Sometimes it's about how large the character has become to the audience. And just within two films, Michael Myers, hell, one film really, but two altogether, because we're talking about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, Michael Myers had become, a rock star in a sense. I mean, we sit here and say Freddy was like the rock star of horror villains. Well, if he's the rock star, bro, Michael Myers is the rock legend, okay? I love Leatherface to death, but I mean, really, when you put it up against the fan reaction of Michael Myers and how big Michael Myers is to Halloween fans in general, he's literally larger than life. And really, I think, you want to look who demonstrated that most is Mustafa Akkad. Mustafa Akkad was right. I mean, the guy's just literally Myers himself as a fictional character is a larger than life character. And look, is he the first larger than life character ever? No. I mean, if you want to get into, look, icons in general of what a character is, well, let's look at larger than life characters from a heel persona, because I'm not going to get into um, protagonist. I'm getting into antagonist standpoint. If I had to pick one in general who became sort of larger than life prior to Myers, I'd have to go to television and go to Barnabas Collins. And people will say, oh, you're going to throw up Dark Shadows. Simply for the fact is because once Barnabas was introduced and once the character became popular, and it was a short time that he became popular, and then the popularity just skyrocketed and skyrocketed, they couldn't do the show without him. So when you take that into consideration for Halloween, could they do Halloween without Michael Myers? And you know, we all look at Halloween, Friday the 13th, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. So let's look at Halloween and Friday the 13th real quick. Friday the 13th, though, did not start off with Jason. It started off with Jason's mother. And we all know that, I get that. Jason's mother, the reason Jason became a more known killer is because, let's be honest, women killers aren't done all that often. And when they're done, really, then this is something I've learned from my mom and just women in general. Vanity. Really, we more forgive a woman for being a killer than we would a man. And really, in real life, it's treated different too, because, again, what does a woman have? Beauty, vanity. You know, you don't look at a man and go, oh my God, he's so gorgeous. You know, half the time. You know, sometimes we do. Oh my God, he's very handsome. Yes. But with a woman, and you know, I'm not saying we're all sexist, no, but it just in the sense of vanity. When you think about what vanity is, a woman more gets away with murder in a fictional world or reality world because of her vanity, because of being a woman. And a man is less likely to get away with it because why? A man is more gruesome in his methods, or just more vicious in nature. And just, again, a man is, it's not like and look how they made Jason look. Jason wasn't the prettiest to look at either, right? So with women killers, when you look at, well, how did Friday the 13th get away with it? Well, they just introduced a killer who was iconic and different looking. Okay, is Jason a Michael clone? You know, as John Carpenter said, yes, in every sense of the word. And that's sort of what makes Friday the 13th unique. Pamela is not a Michael clone. And me and a fellow YouTuber friend of mine, Daniel Culver Killenberg, we've sort of had this discussion once before, I think, where we'll have to have it again, but Pamela, where Pamela isn't a Michael clone and Jason is because it's not like Pamela is walking around like Michael. It's not like Pamela is walking around stalking her victims in the campsite. She's more watching them from afar and just watching them, and then she hides and gets up close and then kills them. She's not tilting her head. She's not, and Jason did tilt his head. So, excuse me. So when you get away from the standpoint of how did Friday the 13th get away with it, it's because who was their original killer? Their original killer was a woman, not a man. Now, with Halloween, honestly, I think the reason Halloween just didn't get away with it is it because of Michael? Necessarily? I'm going to say, from my standpoint, partially yes. The character was just so large. And no matter what you did, it's not about. I think when you look at Halloween 3 Season of the Witch for what it is, it's an alternate reality. It's funny because people like Halloween 2018 for its Easter eggs, right? Halloween 3 Season of the Witch has Easter eggs too. Dick Warlock is in it. Jamie Lee Curtis is the loudspeaker announcer. She's also the operator as well. But yeah, so there's Halloween Easter eggs in Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I think once you look at Halloween 3 for the movie it is, instead of what it isn't, which is a movie without Michael, then will you walk away with a better appreciation for it? I don't know. I know I've always had an appreciation for it, but here's the thing. Do I understand both sides of it? Yes, because it's not like Michael Myers is the first larger-than-life character ever. There are just other larger-than-life characters out there in franchise history. I'm going to use an interesting comparison instead of Dark Shadows right now. When you take a movie like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, let's say they had Texas Chainsaw Massacre without Leatherface. How would you feel about that? Would you feel good about that? Would you feel okay with that? Probably not, right? Because your image when you think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, to me, is Leatherface with that chainsaw up in the air. You know, that to me, and that's the thing what I mean. It's about imagery as well. What's your lasting image of this franchise? The Halloween franchise. Is it Halloween 3 Season of the Witch? No. As much as I love the movie, no, it's not. It's Michael Myers. The lasting imagery you see is that white mask and that killer. And that, to me, is, I think, the fairest assessment you can get about why Season of the Witch just bombed in theaters. That somebody felt that they could do Halloween without Michael. You know, when you say pulse of the audience, was the pulse of the audience being checked here? I would say no, because if you were to check your pulse of the audience, you should have looked at the money you had raked in from your two films and went, holy shit, that killer, man, he's drawing us a lot of money. You can't tell me that Halloween 1 and 2 isn't because of your killer. That's the one thing I will say. I've heard people say that, you know, they wanted to find out if it was Michael. Here's the thing. If you don't realize after two films you have a force of nature at the box office in Michael Myers, you need your fucking head checked severely. That's what I will say, despite my love for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Because, again, character popularity is the damnedest thing. It really is, and that's sort of what this gets into as well. Go look in any franchise, and honestly in Halloween and any other franchise, give me your top 3 characters. And I guarantee you, number 1 in Halloween is either going to be Sam Loomis or Michael Myers. And I mean, come on. And people are like, well, who's your Dark Shadow? Victoria Winters, Barnabas Collins. 1, 2. 1, 2. That's right. I don't have Barnabas Collins number 1. God forbid. But as much as I love him, as much as I love Jonathan Frid and what he did with the character, and it is what he did with that character, it was amazing. But you go look at any franchise. Look, Friday the 13th, where do I put it? Now, to me, Betsy Palmer, Pamela Voorhees, because to me, Betsy does not get the credit she's owed. And when you think of serial killers in fiction, she is just not mentioned enough among them. And really, when you look at the history of serial killers, you sort of get why, because most of them are men. Most of them are men, goddammit. It is what it is, guys. Sometimes a character is introduced into a franchise and it literally overlaps everything the fuck else. And that's the best way I can put this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure I'll get complaints and disagreements, and you're entitled to. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, comment, subscribe for YouTube, BitChute, YouTube Resident of Collinwood, BitChute, Resident _of_Collinwood. I'm going to turn around and do a review right after this. I'll see you guys.